Greetings, beautiful beings. So, in today's fasting reflection, we will be discussing my fasting reflection, the message that I received for healing, the message that I share for the assistance in healing or empowerment of the one watching this video. If you don't know, my name is Wa, and this channel was originally called Nature's Healing Gifts, and now it's the Self-Love Journey, Nature's Healing Gifts, because that's what I'm on, the self-love journey, and I love nature. So, it's a cold day in South Central LA. It is though. Like, not like East Coast, Midwest code, just Cali code, you know? So that's why I'm all like doing extra with all that. So let's get started. In this dry fasting session, sometimes we need therapy on fasting, like how to just get the self back up into fasting. And it has to be a therapy session because some people need therapy on getting back into fasting, but versus like calling it therapy, I like session, like healing session. That sounds accurate. But some people like that other word, so there we go. Now, peace in this offering, what I'm discussing is what I've learned in this dry fasting session that I just had, which I offer in service and in gratitude and the intention of assistance, empowerment, and here we go. So, one of the things that came to me this week and before doing the dry fast is basically just reminding the self to consume more liquids than usual, or just reminding the self to drink liquids during the consuming days after the fast. Pardon me, in the consuming days before the next fast. Well, yeah, which is actually after the fast, so that was accurate. So, yeah, it's funny how that works, but it's because it's a circle. You just keep doing the same thing. So, in reference to the period after the fast, which is the beginning before the next fast, as we just discovered, you should, or the person, working on this, should drink, working on fasting, participating in fasting, dry fasting, breatharianism fasting, healing, activation of the light body fasting, should make sure that they remind themselves before, during this period of water and any substance consuming, to drink as many fluids as you can possibly contain. And remind yourself, the person has to remind themselves to do that, because when you've been doing dry fasting and your body gets in the habit of it, you good. You can totally just, forget, to drink. Not really forget, but just be in the space of self-sufficiency and that intelligence already activated that you are consuming through your energy centers, the energy of the sun, the moon, the earth, the stars, the planet, that you are receiving this energy, that we are receiving this energy, that I'm receiving this energy. This is, the fruit of this week's workout for me. And it's a workout, the fasting workout. No, but seriously though, just being in the intelligence of, or having activated the intelligence within the body, this intelligent vessel that can be totally programmed to function as you command, because you are a creator and you manifest. So once you set the intention and the consciousness and you begin to activate that ability, that superpower to receive energy, food from the sun, the stars, the moon, the celestial, Mother Earth, once you attune into that, then you can get in the rhythm of it when you ain't even on the breatharian fasting or dry fasting in the spirit of receiving that energy from elsewhere. So that's what I meant by forget that was inaccurate. So I wanted to explain that it's not really to forget, it just becomes, something that is not a immediate or prevalent or even a need, because you've already trained yourself or activated that part of you that doesn't need that. So then at that point, we're just like, okay, now I'm about to enjoy me some pleasures, some liquids and some solids. And you enjoy it. That's what makes it that's the fasting element for me, because I am not, a full-time breatharian. This is like, dry fasting for me, and breatharian healing and breatharian fasting is for me, it's for healing and spiritual growth. And so, but it's not like a 100% lifestyle change for me. It's only like a couple of days a week. So back what I was saying earlier is that you kind of just remind yourself to drink fluids while you're on your consumption days, so that you can feel like you've had enough. Like, I'm good. I've had a lot of liquid today, and actually that helps you for when you actually go back to consumption, because then once the new liquids start to flow through you and you need to release waste, it helps, to have already drinking a lot prior. And it's good to drink a lot after the dry fast, so that once you actually consume something solid, it comes out easy, flowing with the water. Especially for folks that, we're eating processed products, processed foods, those liquids, best friend, very important. So that has been my experience with dry fasting, and that is the offering that I share, intention to provide assistance, empowerment, inspiration, information for those that are needing support in dry fasting or breatharianism fasting for healing or enlightenment. When I started this week's fast, I was highly concentrated on manifestation and just activation of the goddess, like in full embodiment on all levels. So that was heavy on my mind, and it was in a meditation for me. Just a complete meditation the day before the start of the fast. And something amazing, is that one of the messages that I received is that I'm all on some personal tea right now, but I think that, it's all love and peace, and it can help somebody who might be dealing with something similar. So, one of the things that came to me for this full embodiment goddess activation, for any of you beautiful sisters out there that are feeling like you are in the process of activating your full embodiment of the goddess energy, the goddess that you came here to be, the master that you came here to be. One of the messages that I received from my personal coursework is seeing perfection in myself. Oh, some of them like religious people or some other kind of minded people that ain't in resonance with thinking like that. Because I've heard some stuff and people just think that is just such a self-righteous consciousness I've heard. And I've heard some stuff about that. But whatever people believe in that works for them, good job. That's what we're here to do, is to do what works for us. So if I say something that doesn't resonate, or it's not in alignment with your ego, mind, or truth, that's cool. Keep it moving to the next statement. So, what I have to say about my coursework, maybe somebody else might be in the same coursework, is seeing the embodiment of source in self, this perfection of source in self, this love of source in self, this divinity of source in self, this intention of source to create self, to be one with the divine self, for the spiritual ascension of body, mind, ego, into divine oneness, tangibly, on all levels, the divine source. So that is what seeing the self as perfect, as divine perfection, that's what I receive. That's what it means to me. That's what I'm receiving from my coursework with Source, is me seeing myself in the divine perfection of the divine source as a divine creation, divine source, in love, the love of the divine source, in action, the action of the divine source. So basically, I have some affirmations that came to me, which are: I am one in action with the divine source. I am the action of the divine source. I am one in sight with the divine source. I am the sight of the divine source. I am one in light with the divine source. I am the light of the divine source. I am one in abundance with the divine source. I am the abundance of the divine source. I am one in love with the divine source. I am the love of the divine source. So, we all know the power of affirmations. Affirmations are a source. communicating to us. Affirmation source communication. Sorry, it just started feeling like a freestyle was coming on. Like, man, but it is though, you know, affirmation, divine source communication flowing through your cerebral fixation. Oh my goodness. To create divine manifestation for your liberation, planetary elevation. We are divine source libation. Oh my goodness. I love the divine source. I love having fun. I love expressing my love for source. So that's what I've received this week is those affirmations. I will include them in the description box. I've seen some dope ass affirmations. Excuse my French or whatever you want to call that. Excuse the language. But I've heard some powerful affirmations. And that's because it's source. It's like, man, y'all are so magnificent. You all are the divine source. God is within you and all around you. It's like so amazing. So anyways, that's why, I've seen so many awesome affirmations, but I will be sharing mine in the description box. But that's why I've seen so many amazing affirmations, so many amazing creations, because you all are the genius of the Most High. God, you all are the genius of the divine source. All that genius, all that magnificence, all that love, all that beauty is source, the divine source, flowing through you and flowing through me. And we are just so gifted to be getting lifted by the divine source's love. Being in this awareness, doing our best to affirm, validate, and create this tangible oneness activation for ourselves, for the embodiment of that full goddess, divine source energy as intended, the mastery that, you are meant to be or already are. And just that whole process of awakening to the divine within. That's what I'm talking about, if you didn't notice. That whole process of awakening to the divine within, that's the process that I'm on. So that's the process that I'm speaking on to help anyone that needs it. I'm about to freestyle again. But anyways, that is what this message is about. That is what the fasting is for. That's what I'm practicing the breatharianism fasting for. And that's what I hope anybody else will be practicing fasting for. Spiritual ascension. And, just making sure that you have set your intentions, activated your mind, your ego, and all faculties that make up your functioning brain that you use to the agreement, unison, and functional, cohesive, as a whole, awareness and ability activation that you are absorbing energy for food from the sun, from the stars, from the celestial, from the universe, from the Mother Earth. This is what dry fasting is about. Eating your spiritual power for food, for nourishment. I know that sounds crazy, but people are so hooked up on eating and they don't realize that when you're fasting, you're still eating, you're just eating something else. But you got to activate that though. You got to actually be in the consciousness of it because the consciousness is creation. You are a creative being. So whatever you think about, you are creating. I know some people be like, but what about what I wasn't thinking about, what I wasn't thinking? We ain't talking about that. Okay? We're talking about the ability to create. We ain't talking about everything that ever happened though. Okay? Stop it. No, because people be going there. But we're just talking about creation that you co-create with the source in alignment. That's that divinity, that power, that grace, the ability to create, co-create reality in oneness alignment with the divine source. AKA being the creator that you are, AKA being the divine source that you are, and the God that you are. People be mad at that too. Like, they don't like to hear other people saying that they're God. And it's like, okay, one with God, God. One with God equals 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 God. Okay, too much fun I'm having here. But seriously though, it's like, how does that not make sense? It doesn't matter. Coursework, classroom. So this is for the people that, or maybe somebody can, jump to another level of coursework, because we all doing it all the time. So anyways, if we have already acknowledged the fact that we are one with God, and if we want to get all technical, we're talking about the soul, the spirit body, not the flesh, but, like, really though, like, it's nice to just actually get into that full embodiment. Like, my flesh is the divine source. But anyways, let me stop, because some people, they're not there. And it's something that I am growing into. So, the God that you are, because you're one with God, because God is inside of you, because God is your soul and your spirit, because God is in your soul and your spirit, because you're a God, one with God, in soul, spirit, and body, if one reaches that level of mastery and ascension. So, that's where I'm at. People, earthlings, beings. I was gonna say diamond beings. This is freestyle. Oh man, but I wasn't trying to though. I was just talking, and then it was like, because I was gonna say people, earthlings, diamond beings. This is my greetings, and sharing all of this that I received from my fasting reflection for your divine assistance. And I'm grateful to be. And I went over the affirmations that I received. And you're welcome to, of course, meditate on those. I think also, though sometimes we get into the habit of, people get into the habit I have of saying affirmations like standards, or, like just a list of demands, or a list of ideas, instead of really meditating with the affirmations. Like they're a meditation, like I am the divine source. I am one with the divine source. I am the divine source is a meditation, because after you say those words, you're going to go into an energetic focus, also known as activation, different levels. And you're going to pull in that intention, energy, and just activate that into ascension with your breath, with your awareness, with your actions, all throughout the day, in every way, as much as possible. So I will include those in the description box, like I said earlier. But of course, you are more than welcome to join the breatharian fasting. Come up with some affirmations for yourself. I'm just sharing in all peace, reverence, and intention to serve. So, those beautiful affirmations for oneness and ascension with Source. That is why we are here. That is why I dry fast. And so, hopefully, if you've been receiving the call to do it, hopefully, this video is supportive. Like I said, it's so wonderful to meditate on those messages from Source, aka affirmations, divine source communication, because that's what it is. And you meditate on that, say it, get into it. And that's where it's at, for ascension. So, also drinking lots of liquids, as much as one can possibly hold. And then going into that reactivation cycle of, my body is eating through my energy centers, receiving energy from the sun, receiving energy from the celestial, receiving energy from the universe, receiving energy from the stars, receiving energy from the moon. Receiving energy from Mother Earth. Hit my computer, talking to my computer saying, excuse me. Receiving energy from the Mother Earth. And affirming, confirming, activating this communication that you are being nourished, that you are receiving energy, nourishment, food on a cellular level, on an energetic level. When we eat food, it's supposed to nourish our cells. When we eat food, it's supposed to provide energy to our cells. When we drink water, it's supposed to do the same thing. But as we have learned, it really depends on the type of food and water that is being consumed. So, the energy, the light, all of that, that's consumption. So you're tuning in to your body's ability to be nourished through that level of consumption. And that is the purpose of dry fasting, breatharianism, or breatharian healing from the consistent fasting method for healing and ascension and growth. And you already know, people in their spiritual battles. It's like I have my tests and challenges, and some people just be lucky, that you're not like them, that you're not demonic, that you're not wicked, because if you, with all your divinity and power, decided to be on their bullshit ass level, then they would just be done, just gone, because you're way more powerful than them anyway. That's why you chose the light instead of the weak ignorance, instead of the little, sorry. So, no, but for real, congratulate self for being a ascending being and not a toxic being that just wants to suck energy and be inappropriate to other beings. Have a reverence for your growth, that you're not that type of being. So that's my end message. Just smile through the spiritual warfare. That's the whole purpose of the warfare, of anybody that might be dealing with any actual physical people, aka beings that have energy, just being unfavorable with their existence, for no, just to be causing more karma for themselves and making it even harder for themselves because they're just addicted to fucking up shit for themselves. Don't know what else to do. In a repetitive cycle distortion of self-destruction. That was another kind of freestyle. Man, it's not all good. It's not all light. But it is good and it's all light because, I'm rolling with the divine source. And that's why, there has been no just retaliation. You better be so grateful that I'm elevated. Seriously. Sorry. Now I'm like just talking shit. Because, there's some people that don't got nothing else to do. It's actually just one person. So some people might have a test. Just one spirit, aka person, because we're talking about somebody in body. That some people might find themselves in a situation where they have a person that is just literally like a test for them. And I just encourage you to stay strong, and do everything virtuous and righteous and graceful and divine to pass your test. Because that's what you're here to do. Don't let those energies overpower you. Because they can't. Because you are one with source. Because you're a divine source. You have to know it and be it. And it's just going to come forward. Like one day they'll be trying to test. And then it's like, hold up. We done became our best. Bow! And the Most High just, boom them along their way in the elevation. Like, sorry. They just, get magnetized. Like, how like rotation and that whole like vibration is actually a sound. So like I just tried to make a sound vibration about the Most High elevation on the, mental. I could hear it freestyle. It was just like words that were trying to flow through just to turn it into song, but I controlled myself. And that's what I have to say about that. Anybody, any spiritual tests in these spiritual streets? You gonna pass. As long as you're on a righteous fast or on the righteous tip, and some righteous action. Because there's some people that be out there just like mischievous as fuck, on Facebook and out in the world, actually like trying to serve, both. Just doing too much. Just doing too much. Just, no. I don't waste my time getting into judgment of people, but I had to do a quick assessment on that testing energy that I discussed. And, so I could come into awareness of the full coursework for me, what I'm supposed to get from it in terms of learning and just the whole like, cause and effect aspect of, okay, this is created by this situation mistake, summation, the situation mistake. I'm not going to try to combine that word again because it wasn't working out, but you get my point. The situation, mistake or the situation behavior that you could have chose differently or did better. I combined better and differently on accident that time, but you get my point. It's like sometimes people find themselves where they get involved in something that is unfavorable and is not good for them mentally or spiritually, and they strive to do their best in that situation, and all the while they're in that situation, they are actually creating a creation, and so the cause and effect thing is in constant rotation, and when they step away out of that cycle, they ascend and move through it, then they still have to deal with the cause and effect and the tests that still come from what was actually created, as we are moving through our space and time. So that's what I mean by test. That's how it, came about. I know some of y'all feel what I'm talking about. And if you find yourself up in that on one level or another, breathe, affirm, fast, meditate, do what you got to do. And your sister is making these videos to help you, to make you laugh, and help you enjoy this journey. And I hope that you do. So I believe that that concludes. That concludes. Okay, this video. And affirm that communication from the divine source. Meditate on it. You're one with the divine source. Tangible ascension, goddess activation, the embodiment of goddess activation tangibly on all levels in all space and time. So that's my focus and intention. And for those of my goddesses out there in the process of full body, embody, goddess, divine source activation, ascension, in your process of self-mastery, I love you. We gon' master it through. We are. And all the brothers out there too, this video is for you too, Much love on your God journey, ascension, awakening to the God within, tuning into the God within, becoming one with the God within. Wishing you all lots of love, peace, and success with that as well. Earthlings, people. Wishing all of your souls divine light. Wishing all of your hearts divine love. Wishing all of your beings divine sustenance. The manifestation of your highest divinity. Wishing you the manifestation of your highest divinity. I'm just having fun. I like to sing. But that's really, I do wish you the manifestation of your highest identity. No, that's not what it was. It was wishing you the manifestation of your highest divinity. Because some people's highest identity is a cockroach. Some people really be on some cockroach behavior, and that's what they want to, be on. Or, some weasel or some damn wildebeest or something. Some type of beast behavior. They just don't, so we can't say the highest identity because that depends on the level of their consciousness. They might really see themselves as a beast. Doesn't even sound favorable to me, but to each his own, coursework in classroom. Hopefully, my teaching, what I'm receiving, the source flowing through me is of service to all watching this video and people all around the universe. Ashe, I hope. Wishing everyone lots of love and enlightenment. Peace. This is why. Please do share this love, your love, the divine source's love, which you are, I am, we are. And just be in that meditation, affirmation, divine source communication. Peace.